Grow your practice, grow your wealth, grow your impact. Find out how to spend less time in the dental chair and more time on the things you love.
Welcome back to the Dental Wealth Podcast. Back in the studio. Had a great event. With me, as always, is Mr. Morin himself, the amazing, dynamic speaker from this year's leadership retreat, Eric J. Morin. I need the clapping. I need like the hype announcement in the background.
You know what do they call that, Reese? When you have like the clapping people in the background, we need like laugh, but there isn't a term for that on shows and sitcoms. They use that.
It's always the guy that holds up the applause sign.
Yeah, the applause sign. But there is a term for that in the anyhow, never mind. I obviously can't.
Well, we have a special podcast. I know some of you guys have seen some sound bites or whatnot, but I'll let Eric introduce it. This is going to be kind of a different format. So what is going to happen on today's special podcast?
Well, we're just taking a small portion of a day one. Now, day one was a 9-hour day. We had a tremendous amount of speakers, but this is a small segment of one of the things I talked about, which in day one, I spoke about the art of leadership. In day two, I really talked about the science of leadership, getting into the numbers. And people like Patrick Lencioni, who study leadership, will talk about this idea of the reason why people don't instill leadership within their business is because they feel that it's fluffy and they don't really understand the tangibility. And so in this clip, I talk about the tangibility of leadership and why it has to be tangible. And one of the first ways we can make it tangible, I mean, on day two, I talk about KPIs, and we'll do that in another clip. I think we're going to do that in a few weeks, but because you do have to get into all those things. By the way, running a great business is leadership. Knowing KPIs is leadership. Knowing OKRs is leadership. All those things are true. When we get into this segment, though, I really talk about the why, the belief of having a purpose-driven organization. What does it mean to have a purpose-driven organization? How does that impact the organization? And what happens is when you raise your hand, and this is really important to know, when you raise your hand and you start speaking about your belief system, when you start speaking about maybe it's taking care of patients, or maybe it's the community or your team or impact or whatever it is, what happens is when you start having that conversation with people, they'll start raising, like they'll come out of the woodwork, believe it or not. It's why people that like the same, like attracts like, because people that like a certain hobby attract to that. In leadership and in business, it's the same way. When you talk about, like, you'll find that doctors that are struggling hang out with doctors that are struggling. Doctors that are successful hang out with doctors that are successful. And so in leadership is the same way. When we're trying to build a dynamic team, a team that can get through difficult times, a team with that literally can bond together and literally have a line of people trying to get into the organization, it's because you waved your flag, and that flag said, I believe in this. I believe in this principle. And you said it so much that you started attracting people with the same beliefs. And then those people started speaking it when you weren't even there, and they started attracting people with the same beliefs. And then what ends up happening is you wake up one day to a purpose-driven organization where everyone understands the why of the organization. They understand their personal why and how their personal why like feeds right in that. One of the analogies I use is like a sports team, right? I would say if you say Dallas Cowboys, either they love it or they hate it. And so it's because when you attack someone's team, in a sense, you attack their identity. And we get so pumped up, people will get pumped up about schools and teams, and they've never even been to the city, but they'll fight to the death over Dallas, but they've never even been there. We see this with soccer and other things. So that's the power of truly understanding identity and understanding beliefs. And while people think that it's a touchy kind of feely thing, it's not. It's actually the way it's why this country was formed. It's how you form a great organization. It's how the greatest of businesses, even things like Apple, which I talk about, which Apple thought, they had a belief, which is think different. Everything about Apple, even to this day, is about being different. And so they kept that common belief. And they got engineers and people who wanted to think differently than everybody else. And that's why they become so successful. So this is not some pump you up. It's about understanding how to build great organizations through beliefs and through common purpose. Take a listen. I think you'll enjoy.
That's what we're talking about here. Hey, one of the best interview questions you can have for somebody is just asking them, can you tell me a little bit about your values and beliefs? When was the last time someone's asked you about your values and beliefs? How long have you been working there? Not as important, actually. Here's an example. I heard this one the other day, and I thought this was pretty good. So you have 2 kids at home, and all of a sudden, this new lady comes into town. She's got 30 years of babysitting experience, and there's also a 16-year-old who's next door, and the 16-year-old has no babysitting experience. Who do we hire? Honestly, the 16-year-old. And it's actually because we know that person. They're part of our belief system. They're part of our tribe. We know them. And so we let them in. Believe it or not, your beliefs and your values are more important than your experience. That's a good one to write down. Your beliefs and your values are more important than your experience. Ever hired somebody who is really experienced and were really dangerous to the organization? Experience isn't what matters the most. Your beliefs and values matter the most. It's more important than their work experience. And it's the consistency of time. So it's the consistency with these values that actually creates trust. So if we think about this for a second, it's the consistency of these values. It's why you can't say one thing and do another. One time, I had this conversation with someone because someone told me I should have different core values for my team and a different core value with clients. And I was like, huh? So we have conditional core values? I'm confused. So sometimes that's important and sometimes it's not. It's the consistency with these values. It's a consistency with them. We acted this way over and over. It's why we don't trust politicians. How many of you trust? Never mind, I shouldn't even go there. I don't care who you're voting for. Just stop. Let it go. I triggered some people when I said Fox News, all right? Calm down. But it's often why we don't trust politicians. Because one day they're for an issue, and then the party changes, and then they're against the issue. And you're like, huh? And so there's values change, and so we don't want to work with that person anymore. So values and beliefs come down. It's more important than compensation. I'm just telling you, these values and beliefs bring people together more than compensation or any other means. Shad and Brian, when I first met Shad and Brian, I'm telling you right now, we were literally like, from the minute I told you, we were like, boom, we knew we had the same belief system. We were like, I was like, because this is what I sound like a crazy person half the time, because I'm like, I'm going to change the world and I'm going to go impact people. It's not about making money. It's about building an organization that impacts people and changes lives. It's freaking awesome. And they were like, it's about changing lives. Yeah, we believe it too. I was like, yes. Found some friends, right? Now we're just all crazy sitting in the room together, right? All you have to do is talk about your common beliefs. All you have to do is share your common beliefs, and they'll come out of the woodwork. They will. Well, I'll give you an example. Let me give you an example. All right. See, I tell about politicians, and I bring this up. How many of you love the Cowboys? How many of you loathe the Cowboys? I want to hear, how many of you don't care? No, I'm just kidding. I'm telling you it matters. I'm telling you it matters. People get irate over it, right? Kyle on our team, loves the Bills so much, right? That he's just like, we will move everything around to make the Bills game work. I have to be there, right? It's like a DNA. He's like, I got to be there, right? You know, families in the hospital don't care. They can wait 2 hours, right? Are they dying? No. Okay. I'll be there. I put soccer up here, right? I put soccer up here. By the way, Man United's one of the most recognizable teams, but it's not my team. But this one's actually pretty important. Do people die over this football team? They die over a football team, right? Stampede, fist fight, right? Call each other's mom's names over a stinking team. And by the way, most of them aren't even from that city. I love Dallas. You ever been there? No. But my mom's grandpa, Jim, had a friend who was from Dallas, and that's why I like the Cowboys. And I'll kill you if you say anything about them. What? Why do they get so angry? Because they share beliefs. Because believe it or not, they believe it's who they are. It's not the Cowboys you're attacking. It's who they are. It's not their soccer team you're attacking. It's who they are. You're attacking them. You're attacking their beliefs. That's why we get so pumped up. I'm talking right now, the Bulldogs and Tennessee play tomorrow, and I'm telling you, people are like irate over this game. And if you want to walk someone mad, just be like, good old Rockets hop, right? All you got to do is like sing it and you'll start a fight. I didn't say to do that, right? I'm just telling you. It's just an example, okay? Please don't do that. It's true. People get angry because you're attacking them. When we form a tribe, Shad and Brian use this word often, this idea of tribe. When we form a tribe, like people go get Harley Davidson tattoos, right? Why? Did they pay you? Did you get a kickback? A sponsorship? Nothing? No. But I ride a Harley. Why do they want you to know they ride a Harley? Because it's their tribe. They want you to know, right? That's who they believe themselves to be, right? I'm a Harley rider, right? You got to know that about me. And so we have these convictions. People get angry because these are their shared belief. And then my question for you, are people this passionate about your practice? If someone says something bad about your practice, would it turn into a fist fight? I'm not saying it should. But I want you to think about the energy that comes behind that, right? Like, right? Dr. Smith Dental, you better not say a thing, right? I don't think so. When I talk to people about creating this system, and they get into this thing where they always love people when I talk about their beliefs. So what is your belief? Why do you exist? We exist to be the premier provider of care in the entire Western... What? I'm not inspired enough to listen to the rest of that sentence. Why do you do what you do? Look, we can see this all the time. Everyone met a Marine? By the way, Marines, look, I'm a Navy guy. But Marines, they're a Marine for what? For life. They identify themselves by their leadership. That's who they identify themselves to be. This is the power. So pump you up, right? How about these guys? The only easy day was yesterday. By the way, I spent a lot of time with the Navy SEALs. Let me tell you this much. The only easy day was yesterday. They live that. Because the second somebody complains, they say the only easy day was yesterday. That means what that means is there's nothing I won't do. There's nothing that I won't push through. There's no fight I won't fight. I will do whatever it takes because I am a Navy SEAL. And it ain't going to be easy because the only easy day was yesterday. It's never been easy. It's never going to be easy. This guy named Petty Officer, I won't even say his last name. He was a friend of mine-ish. So he thought it would be really cool. So this thing right here, you put the image back up. This image is called the Trident, or what they call a Budweiser for short, but it's a trident. So what he did was, he would go on, when we get in port, he would try to impress the young ladies by wearing a trident on his uniform. Then he went a step further, and he put it on his forearm. But he wasn't a SEAL. So he decided to try out for the SEALs. And he gets through the swim test. By the way, who do you think runs the swim test for the Navy SEALs? Navy SEALs. He goes to get out of the pool, and he pulls himself up. And what do you think they saw? That. He didn't earn that. He didn't earn the right to be in their family. And so what he did was, I'm not sure, but I know I've never seen a grown man cry so hard. He didn't earn the right to be in that family. That's how powerful beliefs are. You haven't died. Our brothers died, and yet you put that on your forearm? This isn't to pump you up. It's about beliefs. Understand the power of beliefs. We have to understand it creates a brotherhood and a sisterhood. It's the way we are wired. It's like literally the way and who we are. It's how we do everything. It's this common set of beliefs. The common belief in the organization Y is the basis for culture. Culture is not something you do on the weekends for fun. That's not culture. If anyone told you culture was getting your spa nail day done, that's not culture. That person didn't understand culture. That is something you do as a byproduct of your culture, but it's not the culture itself. Culture itself is created by this idea of a why. Why? Why are we doing this? That's the culture. The culture is we're all there for a common purpose. I was thinking to myself recently, I was like, what if we were all lost in the woods for a moment? This is like leadership and how this thing plays out. We were all lost in the woods. And like Hollywood loves this scene, right? Plane goes down, right? We're lost in the woods. And I was thinking, there's always the person that goes, we're never going to make it. Isn't there always one? Hollywood loves that. We're all going to die. Does anyone have that person on their team? Don't say it. We're never going to make it. We're all going to die. You guys know who I'm talking about. No matter what situation happens, I knew it was going to happen, right? Don't say that's me. Just kidding, I'm just kidding. All right. But then there's someone emerges and he says, or she says, follow me. Follow me. That person is telling you, and what they're saying to you is, follow me. You can trust my belief. You can trust my belief. They don't know. They don't know for 100% fact. Watch the movies. They don't know for 100% fact they're going to make it out alive. They don't know they're going to get on the other side of the island. They don't know what's going to happen. But it's the belief. And what we do in that moment is we follow their belief. We don't follow their knowledge. They don't have the knowledge. They only have belief. But we're looking for that person in that moment that says, follow me. And what does everybody do? Follows them. It's your belief to those convictions. It's your belief to those convictions. When people look at you, I was talking last year that in 5,000ths of a second, an FBI profiler told me 5,000ths of a second, somebody can tell if you're lying to them. They can also see if you believe what you're saying. They can see it in 5,000ths of a second. What we follow is that person saying, hey, I believe, and you look at them and they go, she does. Let's follow her. We'd rather follow the person who has strong beliefs and is confident about that belief. Even if they mess up, that's okay. At least they have a belief we're following them. They're getting us somewhere, right? And that's what I'm trying to do ultimately here today. I'm asking all of you, follow me. Listen to me. It's about so much more than you think it is. If you really want to truly lead people, all you got to do is let it go down right here and say, what is it I believe? And all we got to do is let people hear our message. And then we got to stay true to that message. Look, our brains are wired to look for this. We literally look at it. It's literally physiology. And we look for great leaders. We know it. And great leaders in great organizations inspire. You got to inspire people. Are you inspiring people? This is why I want doctors out of the chair. Because if you're like this all day long, you can't be like this all day long. You got to lead the organization. You got to be walking around and talking to people. And it's not about what they're doing, right? It's why they're doing it. Constantly talking about it, right? Sit there in the room this morning with the team. Hey guys, this is why we're doing what we're doing. Just like you guys know. Like we're here to change people's lives. I'm 100% confident in that. You don't have to walk out the same way you walked in. It's a decision. And so great leaders inspire. You guys move people, and you got to keep people going and going and going. And if we don't have this is what happens in organizations. If you do not have beliefs, if you do not have values, then the only thing you can try to focus on is happiness or compensation. That's it. And if you guys think about it for a second, if you're honest with yourselves and think about this, you'll go, he's right. If there's no belief, if there's no why, if we don't know why we're doing what we're doing, then here's what's going to happen. We're like, well, I hope I pay them more money, they'll stay. Maybe if I make them happy, they'll stay. Hey guys, how can I make you happy today? Right? And here's what we see. Look, team members happy, good leader. Team members unhappy, bad leader. Right? So I want to make people happy. Look, but here's the thing. I will tell you this, is that this idea of performance and your perception of leadership, if you're performing well, what is your view of leadership? They're great. Look at how well I'm doing. My leadership's great. If you're performing well, they're a bunch of bumps. They're horrible. They don't know what they're doing, right? Your performance, so you're trying to make people happy, and their own performance, ultimately speaking, right? Their perception of you has a lot to do with them. And morale is a lagging indicator anyhow. Morale is a lagging indicator. Write that down for me. Morale is a lagging indicator. Morale is a lagging indicator. Morale is a lagging indicator. It is. Morale doesn't come first, right? Just walk in today, boom, great morale. Wow, I'm going home now, right? Is that how it works? No. And in fact, I would argue results have to come first. Results come, morale comes second. Results come first, morale comes second. Results come first, morale comes second. Results, that's what ends up happening, and that's why great leaders have to give us direction. We have to lead these beliefs, and we have to give direction because we know that ultimately morale comes after results. You're willing to push through things if you have beliefs. You're willing to do that if you have beliefs. If you have those beliefs, you understand morale's coming, but we have to get results first. And this is why we have to create these purpose-driven organizations. What I'm talking about in this moment is creating a purpose-driven organization. So you guys have this awesome purpose-driven organization. When we create purpose-driven organizations around a common set of beliefs, those beliefs that people will fight for, and then they go, this is who we are, our tribe, this is what we believe ourselves to be. When they want to fight that much for you, you don't have to worry about somebody giving a raise up the road. We're all fighting for the same thing. We're on the same team. This is why I dislike the word employee. I really hate the word staff. I reserve the word hate, by the way, for very few things, okay? Because I don't like when people say things like, I hate, like Meatloaf. You hate meatloaf? That's very passionate. I reserve hate for things that are actually important. You might really hate meatloaf. I don't know. So we create organizations around this common set of beliefs. It gives us our why. We have to ask ourselves, hey, listen, we want to see more patients. Why? Why do we want to see more patients? Because we want more revenue. Why? Because we want to retain team. Why? Why do we want to retain them? Why do we want to make more money? Why do we want more happiness? Why do we want all these things? Why do we want them? If you don't have a purpose, there's no reason to fight. If you don't have a purpose, there's no reason to fight. It's truly the art of leadership. And the reason I brought up morale today is I want you to understand sometimes it's the difficult times that show us whether we have created a true team. Man, it's easy when it's easy. It's easy when it's easy, right? And it's hard when it's hard. We find out really quick, right, who's on our bus when it gets hard. But I would argue one of the things we don't do enough is we don't share our common beliefs and what we believe and what we really truly feel right here. This idea of why do you exist? Why do you exist? All of you in this room should know, why do you exist? I had someone ask me one time, they just said, what do you want in this world, Eric? And I was like, I want to know I swung for the fences. I want to know I gave it all. I want to know I gave everything back to impacting people. I want to leave it all on the line, right? I want to leave it all on it. We got to figure out, why are we doing what we're doing? I want you just to close your eyes for a minute. Just do me a favor and close your eyes. It's like a moment, right? There's always a peeker, by the way, in the room. You just saw me. Close your eyes. And if you could just imagine your perfect life, right? Just for a moment. What does it look like? Right? Picture your family for a moment. What is it? What are they doing in this, right? What does that look like? Right? Maybe it's wealth. Maybe it's some form of wealth that you want. Maybe it's a house. Maybe it's a vacation. And it's the final days of your life and you've accumulated this stuff. And you're looking back on your life and you're saying, why did I build all this stuff? Why did I do this? And I want you to think about what the purpose of that is. Why did you do all that? And I want you to sit with that for a minute. And I want you to just let that sit with you so that you understand there's a reason why you're doing what you're doing. And you can open your eyes, but I want you to hear me on this, is to say there's something that you're going to be looking for and saying, I need that to be true, whatever that is. And there's something that you need to fight for, and you fight for that first. If you know what that end vision is, that's what you fight for today. You don't have to do all this stuff on the way. In fact, you go there first. Look, you got to figure out what drives you. What's your purpose, right? What defines your organization? What's your organizational purpose? Why do you do what we do? This has always been at the root of science and achievement. It's always been at the root. It's always why do I want to run? Why do I want to run the race, right? It's deeper than because I want to win. Why do you want to win, right? I don't know. There's something inside of you. And you have to know that. Leadership must be affirmed around this purpose. We have to know your purpose. You must know your own purpose, guys. I love this one. Anyone seen this one recently? Oh, it's cool, right? When I saw that, I was like, man, that is cool. Give me a hoo-yah if you've seen this. It's cool, right? This went viral. Why did it go viral? It's just some dirty guy after work going to a game. It's all it is. I would never show up like that, people say, right? Why did he do that? Why did he show up? Those of you who don't know the story, this is a coal miner. And he knew that if he went home and he changed, If he knew that he went home and changed, what would end up happening is that he would only get there about halftime or maybe even after halftime. And he knew that little boy just wanted his daddy there to watch the game with him. That's all he wanted. He just wanted dad to watch the game. Do you think that little boy cares about any of that dirt? No. That little boy doesn't care about that dirt. Calipari, who's the head coach of Kentucky, calls him up, by the way, invites him to come to a game and sit in like the suite and all that stuff, right? That man doesn't give a damn what you think. He doesn't. Because he knows his purpose, right? He knows his purpose. He knows why he gets up every single day. And I'm going to guarantee you that little boy's a part of the story. And that's why we were so blown away. This shouldn't have been a big deal. It's just some guy going to a game. It's a big deal because we look for leaders. We're looking for leaders. We're looking for them everywhere we go. And that showed us, we're like, oh my gosh, we had to start looking at ourselves and going, he's a better leader than I am. I would have went home. But he put his beliefs first. And he shared his beliefs, and people were so taken back by that. They were like, holy moly. The conviction around family, the conviction around beliefs this guy must have had to show up like that, to not care about what anybody else thought, to sit in the front row looking like that. We're looking for leaders. The world's looking for leaders. They're looking for all of you to show up and talk about your beliefs and your values. They really want it more than anything. You got to do that. Even if you go, well, I'm going to create the largest practice in the United States. I go, okay, why do you want to do that? Okay, because I want to make as much money as possible. Someone told me I can make as much money. Okay, well, why do you want to do that? Can't take it with you. Well, I want to make memories with my family. Eric, I want to be able to have memories with them. Right? Why do you want to do that? I'm going to kind of keep, because I want to have a legacy. I want people to remember me when I'm gone. Okay, why do you care about that? They're digging through this thing. Because I want my family to know how much I love them. Why? Why do you care? Right? Why does that matter? Because I never felt that love from my Father. Like if I got down to it, maybe that's the key. There's something inside of all of you that is saying, there's some reason I'm doing this, and there's got to be some reason at the end, right? Why? Why does that matter? Why does the fact that you never felt love matter? Because I want my kids to know that it's important to show how much you love them. I want them to know that the more successful that I become and you become, the more you can create the opportunity of time and money to show them that love. Kids, it's not about just working hard. It's about the fact that when you work hard, you get more time to love the people that you care about, right? Shad and Brian talked about this idea of like, you got to know why. So we got to turn that into affirmation. Like if I'm me now, and then when you get this down, and this is going to be something you do outside of today, is I want you to write down, like now this is called an affirmation. I will create the largest dental practice in the Southeast United States. This will allow me the time, the money, the energy to impact as many people as possible. I will create a legacy of love within my family and create an example that the more successful you become, the more you can impact the lives of those around you. Yeah, what an affirmation. Imagine you read that every morning. You walk in with your state and your beliefs. That's your belief right there. That's your belief. And you take that belief and you can write it down and you can walk in on those hard days and go, oh, I need to read that this morning. And you share that belief with people. And you talk about that belief. And you say, this is why we're doing what we're doing. And you talk to the rest of the people at the practice and you go, this is why we're doing what we're doing, guys. I want you to know that. We're doing this because we want to impact as many lives as possible, ... And people will hear you. Now, some people won't care. Some people won't care. I don't care about that. I just want to know how much you're paying me per hour. You should probably find a different home. Because this ain't for you. We're a team. We all win together. Practice goes up. Rising tide lifts all boats. We all win together, right? That's what this is supposed to be. I want to be a successful hygienist. Why? Right? Maybe I want to be the most successful hygienist in the whole practice. It will offer me more leadership skills and opportunities. And why does that even matter? Why do you even care? It will offer me the opportunity to mentor others. Why does that even matter? It will offer me more opportunity to impact people's lives. Maybe it's because you were lucky enough to have a great mentor. And I want to be able to give others the same opportunity. Because it's more important than that. Because it's important to me to use the skills that I have been given to impact as many people as possible. These are the things we talk about, and we turn that same thing into a conviction, and we utilize that conviction every single day. I want you guys to hear me on this and know how important this is. You got to know your conviction. And if you're a hygienist, in that example, you walk in and I just want to mentor people and coach people and train people to be the best they can because I love the idea of changing people's lives. I know it sounds like I'm different. I'm a little weird. You don't have to say it in that tone, okay? You might scare people. But guys, I really want to change people's lives. That's why and you just keep saying it. Because what will happen is they're going to come out and they're going to go, why? Oh, she's crazy. Let them leave. Leadership is consistency to results. Don't you dare change. Don't you dare change. Don't you dare change. Find out what your why is. We stay convicted to that, right? We write this down. We start drilling down. Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing? We figure this out. And why does having a purpose matter? I want to read you guys something. I read this at our leaders meeting, and I thought it was really good. And I want to read you a message. And this is about beliefs. And why I want you to understand that this is more than some pump you up. That leadership is not some fluffy thing. That this is real. Captain Kirk Leopold. On October 12, 2000, I was honored to be in command of the USS Cole. When it was attacked by Al-Qaeda by terrorists in the port of Aden, Yemen, while conducting a brief stop for fuel. At 11:18 that morning, a waterborne IED with 2 suicide bombers exploded in the middle of the ship on the port side. The resulting explosion killed 17 sailors, and it wounded 37 more. It left every crew member with memories violently seared into their minds forever. Silence, fuel, dust, smoke, screams, yells, fear, courage, resolve, anger, death, frustration, pride, sleeplessness, injury, exhaustion, anxiety, commitment, sadness, and tears. Our emotions ran the gamut. As we struggled to save our ship and our shipmates, our ship was not going to become a trophy for Al-Qaeda. We were filled with the anxiety of what might happen next. Yet every time the unexpected occurred, the crew rose to the occasion and they saved the ship again and again. The crew of the USS Cole never gave up. We became bonded for life with that experience, and we remain close to this very day. We will also never forget the families whose loved ones paid the ultimate price for our freedom as a nation. I will always be proud of what my crew accomplished that fateful morning in those dark days. I was blessed to lead them during those dark hours and the days following the attack, and they remain my inspiration today. Give them a round of applause, guys. See, there was nothing in that was a pump you up, was it? Any nail parties? See, leadership is not some pump you up. It's not something where the greatest leader is the loudest and most vocal. It's the leader that has conviction around their beliefs. Because that day, the only thing they got through that moment was their conviction and beliefs. I've been there when people were carried up the elevator that were dead in service of their country, and I know what it looks like. I want you guys to know that leadership is so much more. when we tap into this heart, right? When we tap into our beliefs, right? Who we are, and we know what that is, we share that conviction. And in that time, a common belief was more important than anything. It helps us get through those tough times. It's the inner voice that keeps us going, right? It's the inner voice that keeps us fighting in those difficult times. Those months that we're down and we're struggling or we're having a bad month. This is why if people just come to you for money, boom, get rid of them. Because we're here for so much more than just a paycheck. We're here to change lives. We're here to impact people. We're here to do so much more. And a paycheck is just a byproduct of our value we bring. By the way, I believe in people getting paid well, so don't get me wrong. People are like, is he trying to get like a demotion? No, I'm not. Don't miss me, all right? Don't miss the point. The purpose is being purpose-driven matters, right? Your personal purpose. An organizational purpose becomes everybody. Becomes everything. When you're completely convicted about your purpose, when you know your purpose, why you exist as a company, and why you exist as a person, each one of you should know why you exist, why you're here. I'm so blessed that your leaders brought you here to hear a message. By the way, this is a unique opportunity. But when those things come together, everyone wins. Everyone wins. Because if not for purpose, why would people fight? Why would they go through difficult times? So I want you to have a purpose for your organization. I want you to have a purpose when you leave here. Commit to leaving this event with a purpose. A personal why, and you know why you're doing it, why you exist. You are all my purpose. My personal purpose. You're all my purpose. Man, I love this stuff. Can you guys tell I love this stuff? Yeah, man, this is fun. You're all my purpose. You're all my purpose. I don't know most of you in this room, but there's nothing I wouldn't do for you. Nothing I wouldn't do for you. This is why I'm here. I'm here to change your lives, and I'm not afraid to admit that. I want to see you impact as many people as possible. I'm not afraid to admit that. I'm a little crazy. I'm not afraid to admit that. I love this stuff. We can impact people's lives. You all are my purpose. I'm telling you, do something amazing with this purpose. I will tell you, I also want to give credit because this team is my purpose. Can we give the Tower team a little bit of something? Yeah. I told the team yesterday, we were sitting down, I get quiet before days like this because I can't believe that you all showed up in a room to listen to me and my dreams and my purpose. I'm so freaking blessed by every single one of you for being in this room today. I'm honored, and if you trust me, you can feel it. I'm honored. And I'm honored that these people fight with me to serve you every single day, that they show up. Look, these 2 days are my purpose. Grab as much of this as you possibly can. Grab this information. I'm telling you, take notes. If you came in and you were like, why did they drag me cross country? Change your mind. Somebody says, hey, listen, why are we even here? Listen, because you probably need to wake up, right? You've been staying in the shadows way too long. This is your time. This is your moment. You can be that. Look, these 2 days are my purpose. Everyone that's on the stage, it's their purpose. I'm here to create a legacy, and I want you to do the exact same things. I want you to look at this, and I think you can make an absolutely impact. You guys are my purpose. My team's my purpose. My family is my purpose. Come on. Guys, find your purpose and change as many lives as possible. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
What a great clip to show. I think ultimately speaking, thank you guys for taking the time to watch. Hopefully you guys actually went on YouTube and watched this clip so you could get an idea of the impact on the stage and how the crowd reacted to the things that Eric was, speaking upon. So, thank you for taking the time to do that. I think, leadership, ultimately speaking, is one of the most difficult things to tackle in a practice. But if you can create phenomenal leaders, you're going to be extremely successful. So thank you, Eric, for being in the studio, for letting the audience get a little bit of a brief insight look at what this past foundation or this past leadership retreat was. I'm looking forward to, I think we're going to do another one of these in a couple weeks. So be sure to like, subscribe, view on YouTube, share it with friends, pass it along. It's the season of giving, I would say. So give the gift of the Dental Wealth Podcast. So Mr. Morin, thank you as always for being here, and we will see you guys next time.